Kyle Weber, president and co-founder of Indie on the Move, here to elaborate on the Do It Together tour booking experience. So if you're somebody that maybe isn't sure how to go about getting your shows and tours booked, or maybe you're somebody that just doesn't have the time to do it, this might just be the approach for you when using the platform. So those campaigns, they're broken down into 3 parts. The first part of which being a general consultation and planning phase. So we would hop on the phone, figure out where you want to go, what you want to do, put together a plan from there. So that might be something short, like from Philadelphia to Boston and back, or it might be something a little bit bigger, covering the West Coast and into the mountain states. Either way, once we cover that basic stuff, we're then going to spend some time looking a little closer at the presentation itself. So first and foremost, it's going to be that pitch email going out to the venues. Obviously, we want to ensure that we're creating the best and strongest first impression, because that's going to help to land the most shows. And then beyond that, we're going to spend some time looking at the artist's online presence, official website, social media, press kit, things like that, right? Again, we want that all to be as solid as possible. Then with all of that information, we can then put together what would be the final pitch, final itinerary, and send it all back to you for your approval. So that is part number 1. And then once you're happy with that, we move on to the second part, which deals with emailing, in which we then take that pitch and deliver it to appropriate music venues based off of your target itinerary and save you the time, effort, and energy of doing so. So currently, we've got over 11,000 contacts in the Indie on the Move directory. That includes music venues, music festivals, and colleges and universities. So we deliver your pitch to those venues, saving you that time, and then once we deliver that pitch, we then turn the booking roll back over to you. You simply sit back, field those responses, and deal with the negotiations and confirmations as you see fit. So it's not a full booking agent role that we offer, but what it is a streamlined approach to that booking process that's not only going to save you time, but also offer guidance and advice that you can then use moving forward. Hence, DIT, or Do It Together. We would do the front end, you do the back end of it. And then as I mentioned, there's a third part. That third part is there to help deal with any sort of follow-ups that might be necessary. So if there are any venues or any markets that you don't land that show on the first go-around, obviously sometimes it takes more than just a single email, we can then help to facilitate follow-ups to those venues that do not respond, reminding them you are still looking for that show, and again, take more work off of your plate. So at the end of the day, it's a middle ground between you doing it all and having an agent do all of that work for you. But all the while, we'd be creating relationships that can then be yours, that ideally you continue to take advantage of. As it relates to pricing, the campaigns, again, broken down into 3 parts, so the pricing is broken down in a similar fashion. But before you can get started, you would need to activate a deluxe subscription. That deluxe subscription is the top tier, so it's going to give you the full functionality of the site. It is $39.99 per month. There's an annual option you can look at as well. But really just the most important thing with that is that the subscription is active while we are actively booking. Otherwise, feel free to turn it off and on as you need it. The campaign itself, part number 1, that consultation and planning phase is a one-time flat fee, $425. That's then going to cover that phone call, the pitch, itinerary, online assessment, anything else we feel needs to be discussed so that we can see the best results. Then when we get to emailing, that part's going to be broken down per market, so the total price would depend on the size of the campaign, a market being a major city and the surrounding area. Chicago, Atlanta, Denver, Dallas, Phoenix, you get the idea. All of those options, those are all going to be $15 per. The exceptions to that price point are New York City and Los Angeles. Those are both $20. So if you were to look at a 10-market option, which we do price out on the site, 10 markets is $575. The way we get to that number, $425 for the initial consultation and setup, plus $150 for emailing. 10 markets times $15 per market. Then we take $425, we add it to $150, and that's your $575. If and when we get to the follow-ups, that third part. Those are additional. They're only $10 per market, though, and it's only going to be where they apply. A couple of real nice things, though, as it relates to the campaigns we offer. The first is that you only commit to one part of the process at a time. So initially, it's going to be the phone call. We talk it all through. We put it together. And then at that point, you decide how much more help you want. At no point are you locked into the entire process. The second thing is that we can customize the number of markets. So again, while we provide examples for 10 and 20, we can do any number. The price would just reflect when we get to that part of the campaign. Now the last thing is that once we do the initial consultation, we don't need to do that part again. So come the second, third, fourth time around, you want to do a one-off show or maybe another tour at some point, well, we take that initial overhead off that $425 and we jump straight into emailing, so therefore your profit can go up. If you have any questions or you want to get started with a campaign, just scroll to the bottom of the site, click that contact button right here, and we'll get back to you as quickly as we can.